Morning everybody, Kurt here from Property Revolution. I just wanted to take a minute and walk through the options that we have for handrail on deck projects. As you're thinking about your deck project for this year, you may have seen different options, or maybe some of your neighbors have different styles of railing, and just wanted to walk through some of the pros and cons for each one. So as you're thinking about your deck project, you know the types of railing that you might want to consider. The first one I have here is a more traditional looking wood railing. This one happens to have black round spindles. A lot of times you'll see wood rail with 2x2 wood spindles or balusters installed. This is a pretty traditional look. A lot of times we'll have wood rail with a wood deck. And pros and cons to this type of rail, the pro would definitely be the cost. It's a little more economical than any of the other options that we're going to talk about. And if you're getting a wood deck installed, it's going to be the more economical option. The other pro would be it's just a traditional look. If you like the look of wood railing, this can be a great option for you. Cons with wood railing are maintenance and performance. So in order for the treatment on the wood to last for a long time, you're supposed to update the stain and retreat the wood periodically. We have another video that talks about when that needs to take place. But that can be a lot of upkeep, and a lot of people really hate painting the balusters if they have wooden ones. It's just very time consuming and tedious. And here in West Michigan, we only have so many nice days of weather each year, and nobody wants to spend all those nice days just painting a deck. And the other problem we've had with these types of rails is just as they dry out, they can start to warp a little bit, especially the longer pieces, but sometimes, especially wood balusters, as they dry, they might get a little arc to them, or they might crack as they shrink. So those are just a couple things to keep in mind. If you do elect to use a wood rail, there's just going to be a little bit more maintenance and a little more upkeep over the lifespan of the deck. The next option, and I'm going to try to go kind of lowest cost to highest cost. The next option here is a composite rail. This is a Trex composite rail with black round spindles. This is probably the most common rail that we install here at Property Revolution. For what it is, it's fairly economical. It's a really good price point. It's a Trex product, so you know it's good quality. It holds up really well over time. This one has wood posts that are installed in the deck first, and then these sleeves go over the wood post, and then everything is mounted to those wood posts. So we can usually make it nice and sturdy by mounting it that way. And then it's got the post caps and the post skirts just to make sure everything looks nice and finished. And this can be a really great option. As far as cons go, this one in particular being white might look a little dirty and need to be cleaned periodically. But other than that, this one holds up really well over time. It's also, this is called a T-rail, so it's got a wider spot on the top. So if you want to use it to set drinks on or something like that, it's pretty useful. Some people, as far as cons go, some people don't like all the square edges or this thick of post. So I would add that maybe to the con list. It's more personal preference than actual performance. But if you don't like the square boxy style, there are different options when it comes to composite for more molded looks or sleeker posts. The next option would be like a decorative aluminum panel like this. And this is going to have a surface mount style post. So if we kind of look under here, there's a bracket that screws to the surface of the deck. These can be really great for retrofits. We often install these like if someone has a deck that's getting a little bit older but it's still in good shape and they just don't like the rails, or they get tired of painting those balusters. We can remove the existing rail and then surface mount an aluminum system like this much easier than we could with a system that has posts going down through the deck. Pros to this, they look great. There's a couple different color options. You have nice scenery behind your house. You want to be able to see through the rail. Easy to see through, really easy to work with. Cons would be starting to get a little higher price point, being they're made out of aluminum. It's just a little more expensive of a material. But other than that, these aluminum rails can be a really great option. They also have a little bit more of a molded look if you didn't like the square boxy look of the composite rail that I showed a minute ago. These look a little bit more molded. The posts are a little narrower. So a really great option. Like I said, cons would be cost, and then super dark colors like black, obviously they start to show dirt a little quicker. So maybe a little bit more cleaning than if you had like a neutral in-between color. Other than that, super great choice. Probably one of the rails that we get asked about the most is cable railing. You can see I've got a little section of cable railing here. Cable can be great. It doesn't obstruct the view as much because the cables obviously are very small. These cables are actually made out of stainless steel, so they don't rust over time, and then it's got like an aluminum frame around it. Cable railing looks really good if you like the look of it. I would say pros would be the look, the visibility, low maintenance. This is also a surface mount system, but cons with cable railing would be definitely the cost. This is an aluminum frame with stainless steel cable. They're also a bit more labor intensive to install. And so a lot of people are taken aback when we show them what the cost would be for that system. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. A lot of people will ask us, well, can't you just drill holes through the post and buy some cable at Home Depot and run it through? In theory, we could, but galvanized cable or standard grade cable is going to rust in spots, and it's not something that we're really going to be able to put our name behind. So these railing systems look really sharp, and if that's what you're looking for, that type of look, definitely worth the investment, but be prepared to make an extra investment for cable railing. The next one that I'm going to show you here is glass. We get asked about glass a lot, and glass railing is super cool. I mean, it doesn't obstruct the view, especially if you're on a lake, or I was at a house yesterday where the deck overlooks a river and there's just a lot of nature and animals coming through behind the house. It can really make sense to use glass there, not to obstruct the view. Again, it's got an aluminum frame and then a glass insert. Pros for glass are definitely the view. It can really open things up, make it feel like you're more in that natural setting. But cons with glass would definitely be the price. Would be first one, glass is quite expensive. And then the other problem with glass that a lot of people don't think about is the upkeep with cleaning. If you have kids or grandkids and they're touching the glass, or grown-ups touch the glass too sometimes, but if someone's touching the glass, it's going to leave fingerprints. And then periodically through the year, there's like increased amounts of pollen falling from trees. That pollen can stick to the glass. And so if you're going to have people over, something like that, you might feel like you're constantly cleaning the glass in order to keep it looking good. But for the right setting, glass can make a lot of sense. One more con that I would mention with glass is it obstructs the airflow. So if the area that your deck is placed is prone to having a lot of sunlight, it can start to feel stuffy when you're sitting between the glass panels. So a lot of times what we'll do if we're installing a glass rail is have a glass rail facing away from the house towards whatever the feature is behind the home, whether it's a lake or something else. And then on the sides have either aluminum or cable to allow the air to flow through more freely and keep the deck as a comfortable space. So these are some great options for your deck project if you're thinking about building a deck or retrofitting a deck with new rail. I hope this information helps. There are a couple other things out there like mesh and rod rail. Those ones aren't quite as common. I kind of wanted to hit the most common ones today. I hope this information helps. Take care, everybody.